Saturday morning, we're back here with you. Thank you. I appreciate everybody spending your time for Saturday morning to jump in and hang out with us on Saturday morning and everything. So, swig of coffee for all the working stiffs, the 9 to 5ers, the people making it happen, the people in the trenches, right? The ones like myself and you, and I'm sure many others that are trying to make those numbers meet at the end of the month. When you're looking at your paycheck and saying, "Why do these numbers not match?" Anyway, all right. We're going to go ahead and read your comments here. Also, before we get started here, I do have kind of a little bit of announcement. I guess we're going to be a little honest here. I quit using a certain product. I quit using a device, and I'm going to show it to you later in the show if you hang around, or I guess some people would skip forward to find out what we're talking about. But I quit using this particular product, and we're going to get into that. Okay, let me pull up our last show here. I'm going to go ahead and read your comments in no particular order. Again, if your comment was not read, basically it's after production of the show, or your comment was just pulled for whatever reason, which has happened. It happened to Slim. I'm not sure why that was going on, but I'm glad he's back. I'm glad his comments are being able to be read and visible to us all. So, all right, here we go. First up is, and if you didn't catch the last shows when we had the new Model 36 no lock from Smith & Wesson, we had that. We did a couple of things with it. Of course, we showcased it just as a standalone video, which wow, greatly appreciate all the traffic to that. Boy, that video really did well on the channel, so I do appreciate that. Everybody really chimed in and shared that video, so appreciate it. I think we're one of the first and few people to actually really show it, other than some footage that was taken at the SHOT Shows, or photographs, or the very special elite groups, that I guess are like in the top tier of the industry. They got their hands on some of them. So we were very fortunate to got our hands on one. Some people did ask, like, legitimately how we did it, and it was we were lucky. A friend of ours, a friend of the channel, that ended up getting his name on the list early on, and he happened to get one. So anyway, here we go. Lion Quest Fitness, nice looking 36. I definitely like the half moon sight. I do too. But also the Model 10, the one that they have out as well, that does have the half moon sight. I am very curious to see that one. Ironically, as I write, I am carrying a 1972 Chief Special in a pocket holster as I watch my granddaughter on a playground. Look at that. Cool stuff. Still being carried, and still a very, very good option out there. Bohemian Hunting Club, I hear you, not having a lot of time, being busy. Seems like there's always more to get done every day. I like the French Connection 2. French Connection 2 is a good movie. It is. It's a pretty decent standalone. It's kind of hard to make a sequel to the French Connection because it's such an iconic movie. It's classic. But the French Connection 2 holds its own. It really does. Yes and no. Do you, like I talked about it? Yes and no. Do you need to see the first one to be able to understand it? It helps because you understand his character a little bit more, and if you understand Popeye Doyle's character going into France, it makes it a little bit more comical, really, in a sense, to see it. So, all right. And Jeffrey Richardson says, very nice looking piece. We appreciate that. It is pretty cool. Again, like, I kind of want to see what the Model 10 looks like. I'm thinking the Model 10 might be the one that I would pick up. All right. Slim Fire, good morning, JW. And that is 3 beautiful revolvers. I am with you on the guns that are made to be fired and enjoyed. Have a great weekend, Slim. Yes. I like my classics. Don't get me wrong. I really do. I'll still break out one of the classics and take it out and run it to its paces at the range. However, I did get into, the new, again, just not to repeat, but that new Colt Python. I swear that's that's the go-to Python. That's just my opinion on it. I think it's beautifully built. It is definitely I feel a step up, and they've definitely made it better. And for shooting it at the range and enjoying it, that's the way to go. And that's the way I'm gonna, I continue to go with it. I have that one, the balloon one, and I have no desires to actually have an older one. I really don't. And I know that's kind of weird because I'm a collector and everything, but I've had them over the years, got rid of them, and I'm fine with that. Actually, I like the new one better. It stays, I take it out, I shoot it and clean it and, put it back away. And so I have a lot of fun with it. More fun than I ever did with the older ones. And it's pretty much the exact same thing. So it's not like it's so different or so like off the walls, like, oh, you can't, it's just that much different. It's not. It really is identical in every way. I mean, minus some minor things like the shape of the hammer or something. But come on, really, who cares? All right, but to each your own on it. You be your own judge. Go and check it out for yourself. I myself am very happy with the new ones. I've been loving them. I love that new Model 29. I don't care. It's got a key lock. It doesn't really bother me. It's not really doesn't. If it bothered me, I wouldn't have bought it. And that's the key thing. You don't like it, don't buy it. All right. Jerry Johnson says a sweet shooter, and next one is from Fire 1777. I like Ballistol because it's actually good for the grip, good for grips, cleans conditions. Yes, Ballistol is definitely my go-to for sure. All right, and this one here is from Willie. Good morning, JW, and good morning to you. Mickey Mantle says, good late evening to all. Just getting online to check out the channel. We appreciate that, Mickey. Love the chit chat, brother and friends. Taco Bell, like Smith and Wesson and Ruger, and like other old school favorites. They get rid of and change things in our favorites, and unfortunately, they're just a memory. Yes. Um, Unfortunately, they're just a memory. Fortunately for us, gun fiends and frequent flyers of Taco Bell, we move on and find other favorites. Definitely understand the no time. I've been driving the big brown truck for 12 to 14 hours a day, for several years. Definitely no time here. Blessings, brothers, and everybody here on the show. Thank you. Appreciate that. Man, that's a long haul, man. 12, 14-hour days and stuff, man. That's no joke. You get home and you just don't want to do anything. I get it. David Thompson says, like the channel. We appreciate that. John T. Thompson, great great grandson. Wow, that's pretty cool. I'm assuming the Thompson Tommy again. DB morning, top of the morning, and we appreciate that. DB always here and everything. So if we missed you, again, we're getting started a little early on this show this week because technically, I actually was. By the time you're seeing this, hopefully I'm back in one piece. Actually, prior to the right now during production and taping of this show, taking a visit over, to California, and going to be out there visiting family and everything. So yeah, so I knew I wasn't going to have time to put together this show later during, the scheduling to get this show up and rolling on time this week. If I didn't do it now, there was going to be no time to do it. So definitely wanted to jive with you. So those are the comments that were up and rolling within the first 24 hours. I usually try to give everybody at least a couple days to get in their comments and everything. So this time we're cutting the schedule a little short, on a little slim. All right. So we're going to get to it. The product that I'm going to talk about and tell you that I kind of stopped using it and reasons why. Again, I don't use this as a way to throw shade or throw rocks at any company or anything like that. But I'm not sponsored by anybody. I don't get paid by anybody, so I don't have I'm not bound to basically lie to people and say to people this is a phenomenal product when it's not, or anything like that. I'm just a hardworking person spending their hard-earned money and cash out of their checks to buy products that these companies that they may some of them may forget the fact that when they're charging somebody $200 or something for a certain item or whatnot, what have you, that could be somebody's entire day's wages or an entire day and a half or 2 days wages when you're charging. So I look at that. I look at that kind of perspective, and I'm like, hey, if this thing sucks, this thing sucks. So the thing in question, as you guys know, hopefully you know, I have been recently using a Dillon 550 press for loading a lot of my revolver stuff. Actually been liking it. I've left my 650 progressive alone as a 9mm machine. Basically, that's it. That's what I use to load my nines. I shoot a lot of nines more than anything, and so that machine it's phenomenal to punch them out. Everything on it, so far it works fine. But I'm starting to wonder this since my recent experience. Now, my experience with the Dillon machines, I'm going to tell you, I like them. Don't get me wrong. I like the Dillon machines. I think they work great. They're always, they're as far as a progressive press, from my experiences, they're definitely some of the best out there. I'm sure there's somebody that, I'm sure there's other ones out there that are perhaps, just as good, if not maybe better. But I don't, my experiences with the Dillon, and I like the Dillon stuff. Their customer service, for the most part, they take care of you. If you got a problem or an issue, they usually fix you up right away or replace the part, which they have done for me on many occasions. So I'm not trying to throw shade on the company. However, I will say this powder measure, this powder dispenser thing that they have, I've been dissatisfied with it on this recent account due to what I experienced was I was loading it up for 44 Magnum, and I was using unique powder for it. And if you can find it, it's rather unique these days. This right here, this powder hopper and measure thing, how it all works is that's its powder through thing. So it's got the slide bar on this right here, and it's adjusted through this nut either one way or the other. It opens up the trough there, and it basically shoots it through as volume. You can see it down in there. But there's a lot going on. You can see it. There's a lot going on in this thing. A lot of little gizmos and gadgets and things that's got to kind of operate together. It works with this rod right here, and the end of this rod is a little plastic wing nut that actually threads through a little sheet metal spring sheet metal type deal here that's actually slipped in there, and that's what's threading it. There's a spring and this little plastic button that I've broken a lot of those. Not sure why or how, but this, that's what part of the operation of it. All right, so my experience with it, loading the 44, was that it was throwing powder all over the machine. And basically on the upstroke, it would come up and just drop like a bunch of powder, enough to where it was definitely getting everywhere, and it would start to get underneath the rotating shell plate and everything. I'm sure it was just a mess, and I only had done like maybe 10 or 15 rounds, and I'm just like, this is ridiculous. I can't. What's going on with this? I just couldn't have it. I did contact them. I said, hey, is there something I'm doing wrong or whatever? I explained to what's going on, and they said basically it's the nature of the beast. And I get it. It's probably different types of powder you're using. Some other people use other different types of powder and maybe get different results. It could be just that powder I was using. I think I've noticed, I haven't ran it enough. I switched over to Tight Group on my other, on my 650 machine to load 9mm. I can't remember if I was seeing any powder dumpage anywhere all over that, but I definitely was experiencing a significant amount of powder dumpage when I was using Unique in this for my 9mm. So it could be the Unique powder or whatnot. It could be that too. I'm not. It's not like I'm gonna throw this thing away or say this is absolute garbage. I don't like that the lid just kind of falls off of it. I don't like that. Um, so, if I was gonna use this continuously a lot, I'd probably put some sort of tape around this to shim it to get it to where it didn't just fall off. Because other than when it's mounted, I know when it's mounted, it's no big deal. It just sits there. But if you're taking it off to do something or adjustment or whatever, or lay it down, you can see it's gonna. And for those of us that have not been sitting there trying to pick up half a pound of powder or whatever all over the place, so you can go with that another method or whatever you're thinking about what you want to do with it. So I recently changed out mine. I use some Lee powder dispensers on mine now, and it works well. Once I was experiencing that with the 44 mag, I immediately removed it, set up the Lee one, and not a single problem. And the Lee one is honestly a lot easier to adjust and work with and get it set. And once it's set, you're good to go. So that is something that I stopped using. I'm gonna, I don't know in the future what to look at it, but yeah, this is something I'm gonna just kind of put away for now and leave it at that. Maybe one day I'll pick it back up again and mess with it for something else, but currently right now I think I'll stick with the Lee powder measures, and they make a bunch of different ones. There's different ones. A friend of mine, he uses one that's like a drum type deal, and it turns and it actuates. It works phenomenal. So the one I got has got the different discs that help identify what powder you're throwing. So there's that too. So anyhow, that's the news on that. Kind of I wish it did work better, but it's an expensive device. They're not cheap. And it comes with one of them comes with the machine, and that's the one I have, obviously. But yeah, I'm just I think I'm gonna shelve that thing for now because it's been working great with the setup I got now. I went with the 550 that has the auto priming system. I think that was important rather than sitting there one at a time, putting the primers on there. So you got the flip tray. They sell all these other things. I saw as I was like digging into this stuff. They sell all these other like primer tube loaders and all that. I didn't feel like I needed that. I'm not trying to go that fast. I'm not loading a whole ton of ammo. I'm just loading enough couple boxes to go and have fun at the range when I go. But yeah, this is the flip trays that they got. Pretty decent flip tray. You can see this one's worn. You can always see one side's got the wear and the other side doesn't, because that's the side you're always shaking it around and everything. So, but anyway, I do appreciate everybody hanging around and coming around to the show and spending your time with us and everything. So again, hopefully we'll see you next week, and hopefully when you're seeing this, I'm all back in one piece.